From the ancient Greek philosopher Plato's semi-mythical story, over 2,300 years ago, Atlantis remains a controversial topic in the scientific and exploratory community. With each passing day, more hypotheses and speculations emerge regarding the origin, location, and sudden disappearance of this legendary continent overnight. Some believe Atlantis to be the dwelling place of revered deities, while others label it as the abode of ancient extraterrestrial beings. Throughout millennia, people have embarked on quests to uncover this lost city, akin to searching for a treasure submerged in the depths of the ocean. So, what have we ever found, and when will the truth about Atlantis be revealed? Are our endeavors futile, or is there more to discover? All that you need to know, want to know, and should know about the Atlantis legend will be unveiled in today's video. The continent of Atlantis was once a great and powerful nation, reigning over the ancient world. However, it came to an abrupt end following a catastrophe, sparking the imagination of humanity for over 2,000 years. The origin of the Atlantis story traces back to the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, appearing around 360 BCE, more precisely. Atlantis is mentioned by Plato in two works, the dialogues Timaeus and Critias. In these dialogues, Plato crafted the discussions of Timaeus and Critias, with Atlantis being a significant subject within them, according to Plato's description. The city of Atlantis was a large island that existed prior to his time, around 9,000 years before. Atlantis was said to have been protected by the sea god Poseidon in Greek mythology. Critias' description depicts this island as larger than both Libya and Asia combined, meaning modern-day Turkey, situated in the Atlantic Ocean. This place had favorable conditions in terms of both weather and terrain. Therefore, Atlantis boasted an extraordinary civilization, reaching unbelievable levels of development. The military of this nation was extremely powerful, particularly in naval warfare. They ventured out and conquered vast territories. In Africa, the Atlantean army even surpassed Egypt. In Europe, they claimed large swathes of land, stretching as far as Tyrrhenia. Despite its vast territory and highly developed civilization, the end of Atlantis was ironic and swift. In just one night, around 9,600 BCE, a catastrophic deluge accompanied by devastating earthquakes caused the entire island to sink into the depths of the ocean. Disappearing forever, the tale of a great island with a powerful empire suddenly collapsing and vanishing seems almost fantastical. Many believe Plato's account to be fictional, with the island existing solely in his imagination. Plato's description of the island's demise is particularly dramatic, attributing the sinking to the wrathful gods who punished the island and its inhabitants. Some hypotheses suggest that the Greek philosopher intended Atlantis as a model for an ideal civilization, with its downfall serving as a warning against hubris and divine retribution. Until now, there exists no official record confirming the existence of Atlantis beyond Plato's writings. However, for thousands of years, humans have remained curious and captivated by this semi-mythical tale, tirelessly seeking evidence of Atlantis' existence. The idea that Atlantis is a real historical location rather than just a myth invented by Plato didn't emerge until the late 19th century. In his book, Atlantis, The Antediluvian World, published in 1882, writer Ignatius L. Donnelly argued that there must have been an advanced civilization in the past. According to him, only such a civilization could pass down the achievements of the ancient world, such as metallurgy, language, and agriculture. Donnelly imagined that over 10,000 years ago, the Atlantic Ocean's water level wasn't as deep as it is today. Thus, he described a continent flooded by the rising sea and submerged precisely in the location Plato mentioned, in the Atlantic Ocean, just outside the Pillars of Hercules, with two stone columns marking the entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar. Even after modern oceanography and geological engineering found flaws in this hypothesis, some continued to pursue it, mainly because it coincided with Plato's description of Atlantis being located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Inspired by Donnelly, many writers later expanded on his theory and added their own speculations about where Atlantis might have existed. One such writer was Charles Berlitz, author of several books decoding mysterious phenomena in the 1970s. Berlitz claimed Atlantis was a real continent located off the coast of the Bahamas and fell victim to the notorious Bermuda Triangle. This means Atlantis was indeed swallowed up along with any airplanes or ships passing through this mysterious region. Supporters of this theory pointed to the discovery of what appeared to be artificial walls and streets found offshore of the Bermuda coastline. Despite scientists assessing these structures and determining them to be natural rock formations formed on the seabed, another hypothesis suggests that Atlantis was indeed buried beneath the ice of Antarctica today. This theory is based on the work of Professor Charles Hapgood, author of the book, Earth's Shifting Crust, published in 1958. According to Hapgood, around 12,000 years ago, the Earth's crust shifted, moving a continent with a temperate climate southward to become present-day Antarctica. This continent was considered the homeland of an advanced civilization. However, the climate suddenly changed, becoming icy, which led to the demise of the inhabitants of this civilization. Specifically the Atlanteans and their magnificent city, buried under layers of ice. Hapgood's theory emerged before scientists fully understood the principles of geological tectonics, so his idea of crustal displacement later became an unfounded belief. A more recent hypothesis about Atlantis is related to the highly developed civilization on the Greek islands of Crete and Thera. Over 4,000 years ago, this civilization, known as the Minoan civilization, was named after the legendary King Minos. Considered the first great civilization of Europe, the Minoans built magnificent palaces, constructed paved roads, and were the first Europeans to use a written language. However, at the height of their power, the Minoans mysteriously vanished from this enigmatic history, further fueling beliefs about a connection between this lost civilization and Plato's continent of Atlantis. Historians believe that around 1600 BCE, a major earthquake shook the volcanic island of Thera, triggering an eruption that expelled 10,000 tons of ash and gas into the atmosphere. The subsequent massive tsunami swept away Minoan cities across the region, followed by invasions from mainland Greek areas that were heavily devastated. However, a fact remains. Throughout history, most historians and scientists have concluded that Plato's account of the lost kingdom of Atlantis is purely fictional. According to this argument, the Greek philosopher concocted the story of Atlantis as a desire for an ideal civilization, and its demise serves as a warning about the gods' punishment for human arrogance. There is no record of Atlantis ever existing beyond Plato's dialogues, not even in any other surviving texts from ancient Greece. Furthermore, despite significant advancements in oceanography and ocean floor mapping, no concrete evidence has been found to accurately depict such a civilization. The only way to definitively end the debates about Atlantis is either to discover it by diving into the ocean and searching, or by draining the ocean, revealing the mythical city for verification. Yes, we need both theoretical and archaeological evidence. With modern science, humans are increasingly gathering new evidence about the legend of Atlantis and other submerged cities worldwide. Let's visit a remote place in the sea near Japan. As the water gradually recedes from Yonaguni Island, an extraordinary and massive structure begins to emerge. Could this be an ancient construction built by some advanced civilization, or is it merely a unique natural formation over time? Yonaguni lies in the East China Sea. The strong currents and dangerous sea streams, along with frequent storms during certain seasons, make it perilous. But these challenges cannot deter the bravest of divers. One such man was Kihachiro Aratake, one of the most courageous and pioneering divers in the region. In 1986, Aratake was diving to find an ideal location to observe shark schools for research purposes. However, what he found was more than just a vantage point. He made a groundbreaking and astonishing discovery that amazed the world. It was a complex of ancient ruins with peculiar stone blocks resembling terraced fields. It was an extraordinary sight, as the archaeological site spanned an area equivalent to 5 soccer fields combined. Smooth stone walls rose from the seabed, reaching heights comparable to an 8-story building. Intricately arranged staircases ascended from the base in various directions. The perfectly cut stone blocks were awe-inspiring. This surely couldn't be something formed naturally without human involvement. So, what was it really? Could it be a new piece of evidence for the legendary continent of Atlantis? What will we find here? A lost city? An ancient pyramid? Or hidden treasures? As mentioned, this area is highly dangerous, so diving deep and thoroughly researching the structures is not advisable. The only way to explore it is by using new 3D scanning technology to survey and map the area. Thanks to the use of cutting-edge modern technology, we have virtually drained the ocean and depicted a detailed picture of what lies beneath the water. This is what the ocean has hidden. Vast, majestic, and spectacular. This incredible discovery has captured worldwide attention. Divers, journalists, historians, and archaeologists flock to Yonaguni. All share one common question: what is this structure really? Among the curious who came here is Professor Masaaki Kimura, one of Japan's leading marine geologists. In 1996, he began surveying this area. After years of studying the formation of these ruins, he concluded that they are remnants of an ancient, sophisticated civilization, a city submerged by earthquakes about 12,000 years ago. Professor Kimura also noted that initially, he thought these structures were natural, but everything changed upon closer inspection. Upon his first dive to observe, he found grooves carved on the rocks, characters on the stone surfaces, and various animal-shaped engravings. In addition to the discoveries in the southern part of Yonaguni Island, significant findings were also made on the western side of the island. In 1990, divers found a giant pyramid constructed from stone blocks. The pyramid measures 183 meters wide and 27.43 meters tall, built from rectangular stone slabs arranged in 5 layers. There are also smaller structures nearby, resembling terraced formations, composed of stone layers about 10 meters wide and 2 meters high. The discoveries didn't stop there. Researchers found additional ruins resembling a road encircling the main structure, followed by longer roads, grand boulevards, and large staircase structures. Intricate gate-like structures, massive meticulously carved stone blocks, all contribute to a unified architectural ensemble they had never seen before. They clearly represent relatively intact remnants of a prehistoric city. Other artifacts, including a stone village structure, a cave-like structure surrounded by such columns, also impressed archaeologists. Additionally, a human head statue reveals remarkably clear facial features, similar to other stone heads found in Peru. Near the giant head statue, previous habitation sites have been unearthed. This indicates that the builders of these underwater ruins belonged to a highly advanced civilization. What's more remarkable is the absence of limestone around this architectural area, suggesting that this structure was once above sea level. Up to now, there is no evidence showing that the inhabitants of ancient Japanese culture could have built them. In other words, those belonging to distant prehistoric periods constructed them before some geological event caused a large landmass to sink, taking along this unfinished great structure. Radiocarbon dating suggests that this structure could have originated around 8,000 to 10,000 years before the Common Era. Despite decades of exploration of this construction, we still have not identified the civilization that built it. If this structure is artificial, then who created it? We have no historical records mentioning a civilization in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And if there were any, it could only be the legendary civilization of Atlantis. With what we have just witnessed in terms of the magnificence and precision of Yonaguni, it is not unreasonable to consider it as the lost continent of Atlantis submerged beneath the ocean floor, which we have been searching for. However, these underwater ruins are not only found in Japan but also in oceans and continents worldwide. Is Yonaguni Atlantis? This is something no one dares to confirm. Nevertheless, archaeological evidence and actual discoveries about the existence of Atlantis continue to emerge in many other places. In 1999, French archaeologist Frank Gaudiot discovered another city believed to be remnants of the mysterious Atlantis. It is called Thonis, the sunken city, or by the Greeks, Herakleion, in honor of Heracles. According to legend, it was in the sacred temples of this city where new pharaohs received divine power, legitimizing their rule over the lands. Despite being a wealthy and influential city, it could not escape its fate of submersion. It is believed that the Great Flood was real and it caused the city to sink into the Mediterranean Sea in the 2nd century BCE during the Hellenistic period, following Alexander the Great's conquest of Egypt. With the discovery of the sunken city of Thonis, archaeologists have made invaluable findings. Here we have houses stretching hundreds of kilometers, temples, and colossal public structures, as well as gold vessels, coins, and jewelry. In short, countless remnants of an advanced civilization that has perished. Not only that, but the ancient Egyptian barge, Baris, described by the Greek philosopher and historian Herodotus in the 5th century BCE, has also been found. After a visit to Egypt, Herodotus detailed these Egyptian vessels in his historical work, describing the early history of ancient times. However, since there was never any evidence of the existence of these ships, many considered it a myth. It took 2,500 years to prove Herodotus was not wrong. Baris was found in the sunken city of Herakleion, with a length of 28 meters. The size of these vessels was enormous for that time period. Experts emphasize that their design was ideal for navigation, especially in the Nile River region. Among the ancient sunken ships, divers came across what is believed to be a sacred urn, an object used by ancient Egyptians to perform religious rituals. Although images of these ceremonial urns are found throughout Egypt, discovering one in real life is a rare find. In fact, this is the only known urn found from this period. Experts believe it may have been used as part of ceremonies commemorating the resurrection of the god Osiris. Another astounding discovery in the scientific community is a black granite slab over 2 meters tall, covered with hieroglyphs. It is even older than the famous Rosetta Stone. This allowed scholars to decode and translate ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. All discoveries made at Herakleion indicate the city's immense importance not only commercially but also politically and religiously. Researchers have identified numerous carvings on the massive slab, describing the rites of the dynasty that each pharaoh had to perform to legitimize their power. Each new pharaoh had to enter this temple to receive power from the supreme deity. Essentially, it was a city of significant cultural and religious importance, with spiritual power and authority discovered at Heracleion. Perhaps this is another compelling piece of evidence for the existence of the legendary continent of Atlantis. Most recently, at the end of April 2022, archaeologists and scientists once again stirred excitement when a strange golden brick road believed to lead to Atlantis was discovered. The expedition team conducted a journey to the deep seabed off the northern coast of the Hawaiian Islands and discovered an unusual road. Their initial purpose was to investigate cracks in the trail originating from thousands of fissures in the Central and Western Pacific Ocean that have long been poorly understood. During the latest exploration, the research team stumbled upon a golden brick road with rectangular blocks that appeared to have been constructed by human hands. According to believers in the mythology, the newly discovered road could lead to the lost city of Atlantis. It was so strange that one explorer in the team exclaimed that it was a rarely seen golden road, possibly leading to the fabled city of Atlantis. Describing Atlantis, at the heart of the empire is a colossal port wall and columns leading to a grand entrance. There is a temple dedicated to the god Poseidon, and large circular plots of land that the Atlanteans were exploiting for sustenance. Indeed, a pattern of dried cracked bricks appearing in the middle of this oceanic expanse is an incredibly astonishing phenomenon. However, there are logical and reasonable explanations. The golden bricks are likely a layer of basalt, a typical example of volcanic activity under the ocean floor from ancient times. The square fissures intersecting each other as if created by humans on this road could be the result of the process of tectonic expansion, heating, and cooling from multiple continuous eruption areas. But it's important to reiterate that these are just interpretations of a few individuals, and the most accurate explanation still needs time to be found. In fact, if you are passionate about and interested in the Atlantis legend, you may also have heard of another similar civilization called Lemuria. According to the mythology of Lemuria, the average height of Lemurians is 3 meters tall. Their skin changes from green to sky blue depending on the season of the year. Their prominent feature is their large eyes, with 2 eyelids above and below that move like elevator doors when opening or closing. Interestingly, Lemurians do not breathe through their lungs but respire through their skin. The concept of Lemuria first appeared in 1864 in the work, The Mammals of Madagascar, by British geologist Philip L. Sclater. This scientist asserted that Madagascar and present-day India are remnants of a lost continent called Lemuria. Furthermore, some ancient records suggest that the Maya believed they were descendants of Atlanteans, ancient Egyptians, and some mysterious blue-skinned race. Subsequently, various hypotheses emerged regarding a Lemurian continent that sank deep beneath the ocean floor, where the superior blue-skinned race lived. Some hypotheses even suggest that Lemuria was a nation that reached its peak of civilization and prosperity in the 14th century BCE. However, others argue that Lemuria was a single nation with its own language, thriving and emerging approximately 78,000 to 20,000 years ago. The Lemurian continent is believed to be where the earliest civilization of humankind developed and flourished. However, to this day, scientific views remain divided on the extent and geographical location of Lemuria. Many scientists even dismiss the existence of this continent in the past. However, there is some evidence suggesting that Lemuria once existed, stretching over 8,000 kilometers from north to south and 5,000 kilometers from east to west. This means Lemuria extended from India to the continent of Australia. One of the arguments supporting the existence of Lemuria is the presence of similar flora and fauna found only in the southern extremes of the continents. This indicates the presence of a land bridge between the current continents, which according to scientists, was Lemuria. But what about the inhabitants of Lemuria? Were they really 3 meters tall as described in the legends, or did they possess the strange green skin as described? There is currently no archaeological evidence of Lemurians found. However, based on the translation of ancient scripts from various civilizations that mention some basic characteristics of Lemurian people and culture, a sketch of them has been outlined. Lemurians were believed to have reached a high level of scientific and technological knowledge, living in transparent roofed houses. Furthermore, Lemuria was said to have the ability to harness solar energy, ultrasonic waves, and crystal energy. They lived in harmony with nature and respected it deeply. Some scientists estimate the population of Lemuria at that time to be around 65 million people. They had to undergo 21 years of education to understand the laws of the universe, and they were considered adults at the age of 28. Among the customs of the Lemurian people, the ritual of pre-marriage trials stands out prominently, demonstrating their deep connection with nature. Couples wishing to marry had to undergo rigorous challenges. They had to display courage to the divine, then shed all their clothes and live in the forest. They had to learn how to build houses, weave clothes from natural materials, and search for food. After 28 days of trial, if there were no conflicts between the two, they would be returned their courage and recognized as husband and wife. While there is no evidence of the Lemurian people, many believe they still exist to this day. Some mystical theories suggest that Lemurians are still living deep underground and only emerge at a suitable time. However, if they were a real civilization and had reached such a level, why did they mysteriously disappear? After reaching its peak development, the Lemurian civilization vanished mysteriously. It is believed that Lemuria coexisted with the Atlantis civilization, and the two civilizations had interactions. However, the scientific experiments conducted in Atlantis may have destroyed both civilizations. Alternatively, Lemuria may have been destroyed after a catastrophic earthquake caused by changes in the Earth's poles 26,000 years ago. The shifting of the Earth's axis created a great flood, sinking the entire Lemurian civilization to the bottom of the Indian Ocean today, similar to how Atlantis disappeared. According to this theory, Lemuria existed and flourished for 52,000 years before ultimately lying permanently beneath the ocean floor. Until today, human knowledge about Lemuria is very limited, with many conflicting opinions. However, scientific discoveries are also revealing some evidence of the existence of this continent. Whether it's Atlantis or Lemuria, I firmly believe that the ancients were referring to a superior race entirely beyond us. The land they inhabited could be described as a true paradise that everyone would want to set foot on. The disappearance of these legendary continents may not necessarily have been caused by them sinking beneath the sea. Who knows? It could have been a mysterious mass migration conducted by those enigmatic beings. This mystery will likely endure for a long time to come. I hope today's video brings you some new and fascinating information. Please leave your comments in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel and watch the next videos. Thank you for accompanying us.